Readers beware, you're in for a scare. Hi everyone, welcome back to Coats and Jackets, and today it's another spooky top 5, and I decided to go with my top 5 favorite Goosebumps books I had as a kid. What I did for this was I picked a variety of different Goosebumps books for different reasons, just because Goosebumps was such a huge part of growing up. I wanted to start with an honorable mention, because it is technically a book. This is the official Caps Collector's book. So you guys all remember the pop milk caps you could get, you know, Pogs. Although Pogs is the official brand name, not the product. Anyways, it was a weird craze. Everybody was into it. I had a ton of them. I still thankfully have them all. So I do still have all my Goosebumps ones. And this was the collector's guidebook that came with it. And when you bought the starter pack, and of course it says it comes with 16 all original Goosebumps caps. Ooh. This is just one of those weird, cool things that's left over from the mini crazes of the 90s. And like it has, you know, a picture of it in black and white. Of course, it's not going to be in color. With all of the information about the book and what scene it is, and you know, that cool stuff. There were even some puzzles in here with the answers at the back. So it was a little bit of an activity book as well. Coming in at number 5, the Goosebumps triple header books. Oh my goodness. And of course, again, very much the 90s. I don't know how well you're going to see this as I move it around. But it's one of those 3D holographic chrome. The triple header books were 3 short stories each. And while they weren't always the greatest of caliber, they were always really neat and a lot of fun. I had a really big thing growing up about anthology books and getting to read different little stories easily while I was on the go in different places. I used to love to take books around with me, and so short story books were the easiest things to bring around and read just whenever and pick up and, like, you know, have a story in between out somewhere waiting for something. Coming in at number 4 is a You Choose the Scare, and this is Little Comic Shop of Horrors. I picked this one solely because of the title. I can't lie. And after a while, after the main storyline, we'll say, of Goosebumps books sort of petered out for a while, there was a new line of choose your own adventure style books, where you could answer different questions and go to different pages depending on what scenario you picked, and it would change each time. And since there were quite a number of these actually in the Goosebumps line, I wanted to pick one of these. And of course I went with this one because this is the one that I was particularly attached to growing up, because I had seen Little Shop of Horrors and I absolutely loved it. And one of the things I think that maybe R.L. Stine's not as well known for is his humor, and he actually started out doing humor stuff. And a lot of these books can be really cheesy, and they have a sort of sense of humor about them, and they parody a lot of horror stuff, and nothing I don't think is more indicative of that than books like this one. Of course, my top 3 books are going to be all about the story. So coming in at number 3 is Night of the Living Dummy. Seriously, who didn't this terrify as a kid? I can't think of anybody. Even the TV show version of this was decent, I remember. I used to like the slappy TV show ones, and I'd purposely check the listings to see like which episode it was going to be, and because sometimes I'd skip it, or I wouldn't mind if I didn't get to see it. But if I knew it was going to be the Night of the Living Dummy one, even if I'd like seen it a million times, I would make sure I was going to be there to watch it. Coming in at number 2 is How I Got My Shrunken Head. This one I picked because I found it really different from a lot of the other Goosebumps books. It was a little more of an adventure story and a bit more mystery to it than were typically in a Goosebumps book. So it really stood out to me for that reason. Also because of the shrunken head, and I was really fascinated at the time with shrunken heads. I think it started from seeing Beetlejuice, maybe. I can't quite remember, but I got really fascinated with shrunken heads, and so I really latched onto this book. And it was about the same time or shortly thereafter I had read this when my family took a trip to Prince Edward Island, and we went to the Ripley's Believe It or Not Museum, totally for my benefit, and I got to see some shrunken heads, and that was so cool. Coming in at number 1 is Say Cheese and Die. This is book 4 in the series, but this is the first Goosebumps book I ever owned. So I got in on the Goosebumps pretty early. A long time ago, schools used to have the big Schoolastic book fairs, and this was one of them. And of course, because you were out looking at the books, and I'm talking like grades kindergarten to 3 here, because you were there with your own money that you were given as an allowance for that day to spend books at the book fair. These books were priced with checks as an all included, so that you could just like count out your money and give it to your teacher, and you know, your teacher go pick out your book. This is still got the little book fair price tag there where it says $4.80 taxes and all included, which is like pretty cool. I can't imagine getting these books for that price now. And I was looking at the different covers actually, and the price went up to $4.99 before tax, at least halfway through the life of the Goosebumps book series. I don't just have particularly fond memories of this one because it was my first. I also have really fond memories of it because of the story itself. The idea that a camera could show you how you were going to die, and you were constantly having to outrun it and wondering whether or not it happened only because you took the picture and not because it was preordained, and whether or not it was cursed and making things happen. I don't know, I was just so incredibly fascinated by it, and I found this story really, really good, and more chilling and a bit psychological than like scary. And I don't know, something about it just really always stuck with me, and it was one of the Goosebumps books, one of the few ones actually, that I went back and just read time and time again. That was my top 5 favorite Goosebumps books from when I was a kid, just in time for Halloween this month in October. And tune in again next week on Wednesday. I'll have another spooky themed top 5. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I do have other top 5 videos and some other book reviews and videos as well, and they'll be linked in a playlist down below. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Have a great day. Bye.